Guys, I'm unique.
Do you mind? Like, oh my god.
Tell me, do you mind if I ask a question? Would you mind? I'd like to learn more. It's only right, 'cause you've got something in that school that I'm dying to know. Would you mind? Do you mind?
Yeah. Do you mind if somebody speak their mind? Giving you the tea, so you might just get surprised. Could get out of pocket, 'cause we're looking for some change. Altering your scope to give you better range. Some can't swallow the truth, so they gurgle. We smart and quirky like Urkel. Do you mind real talk and not just chatter? Then come and join the fam and let's talk about what matters.
Tell me, do you mind if I ask a question? Would you mind? I'd like to learn more. It's only right, 'cause you've got something in that school that I'm dying to know. Would you mind? Do you mind?
Hi y'all, it is I, Darian Gonzalez. Yeah, and we are here to just be crazy, give you good conversation, just be real with you bitches. So that's what to expect, right?
Yes.
We're just gonna be giving our opinions, and we're very informed, educated, bad bitches that just know what we're talking about. And I think that's really why it's essential to have us on platforms. So
Period. And if we don't, we're gonna learn.
And if we don't know, it's called research. It's called educating yourselves, which a lot of y'all don't do. Bitch, you're just talking with no actual like backbone.
No basis.
Yeah. The basics are the basis for the basis of the basis in which it's basic. Do you mind? I don't think they'll get offended. I think you will get, I don't want to say triggered either, more like stimulated.
I feel like if you are triggered, it's triggered in a way where it's like it's making you think. It's not gonna be triggering to you unless, you're one of the you're in that 1% with no taste, and maybe you should click off. But
click on, because you're gonna want to make yourself throw up.
haters love it too. They're gonna be in the comments. They're gonna be watching it too, and that's just
self-sabotage is a vibe, so you might as well be watching our show.
I'm dead. Self-sabotage is a vibe. Self-sabotage is.
Did I say it's a vibe?
That's literally what you said. You know what? Not because self-sabotage is real. Like it's something that we definitely need to stay aware of. About. It's a vibe.
And stay away from too. Jesus.
Don't vibe with it, please.
Don't vibe with it. But understand that it happens, and like us, we happen, and we're so real about it. It's also gonna be a little bit story time, just us talking as best friends. That's gonna be the energy you're gonna be getting. So, I want to talk to you about like poor people tendencies.
Poor people tendencies.
Yeah, but not in a bad way. That's
actually go into what you mean by
yeah. So basically, growing up, I didn't come from like a high class. I'm high class. I'm classy, but the money wasn't there in the family, which is, don't act like that's not most of you bitches out there, please.
They're called the 1% for a reason.
Literally.
Who's the 99?
Period. And even like the other people that aren't that 1%, they still make good enough to be rich. You're just not like billionaires, but you don't need to be a billionaire to be rich. Going to Six Flags, we would go to Six Flags, but to eat, we're not eating in Six Flags.
My mom brought sandwiches.
Hello, sandwiches,
ham and cheese. Yep.
All in the bag, in the car, in the cooler, baby. Actually, that's why I like beaches, because you could bring the cooler.
Yep.
You could bring the snacks.
Yep. You don't have to hide them or spend the money there. Yep.
And I like that because that's how it should be.
And that's why beach food is expensive. Because you
like,
had every other opportunity to bring your own food.
Bitch, $20 for 3 tenders.
No, and 5 fries, please. With half a cup of sauce. I'm not doing all that.
And I will be asking for extra sauce for the free, bitch. Like, don't ever play with me.
Don't play with me. Don't try to charge me those 25 cents.
And you know what? I almost brought up something, but I'm not going to bring it up. So I don't even know why I said that. There I go.
That's my life with him. And then I never know what it was. It's very mysterious.
I shouldn't even say that out loud. It's like a part of me saying that in the back of my head, and then I fucking talk. You can't take me seriously all the time. You feel me?
I feel like that's why I love how close we are, because I'm very lucky, and I feel like I'm lucky in the fact where I get a very unfiltered, uncensored version of Darian that a lot of people don't get. And that's crazy, because I feel like when people talk about Darian, I feel like one of the first things, like even if they barely know him, like they've met him once or twice, they'll be like, he's so unfiltered, like he just says whatever he wants. And I'm like, little do you know, everything that he said in front of you has definitely went through a filter 5 times, bitch. Because when he's around me, if you think that's unfiltered, bitch,
no
I'll show you what real unfiltered is.
But it's because I know she can take it. And again, it's also never too out of pocket. Like, obviously, I don't do anything discriminatory.
No, nothing crazy, nothing offensive, nothing that he would get canceled for. But more like stuff that people would not like to hear. And a lot of times, we do live a life where it's like, we don't walk on eggshells for people, but we're considerate of their feelings. So, of course, we're not going to say things that...
Baby, may I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
I just want to ensure that we are using Darian pronouns.
Oh, yes.
No,
Will you they, them? She,
Darian.
Darian? Okay, I could try.
It's just I prefer Darian. That's what it's called, a preferred pronoun.
Yeah, it's preference.
My preferred pronoun is a proper noun, and it happens to be my name.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know if I slip up, I slip up.
And that's okay.
Definitely not with the intention of being
exactly.
disrespectful.
And okay. I will still be using the part that we were talking and you saying he, because it's a matter of, it's just what I prefer to be called Darian. I always consider myself a male because I have male organs.
Right.
But a man is something different, because a man falls into gender.
Right.
And gender, as we know, is social construct.
It's like a social construct.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I don't fall into the aspect of, but then again, that's also annoying too, because I don't want the men out there that consider themselves men feel like they have to be the way society tells them to be a man to be a man.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's annoying in that sense, because like, damn, like, I don't want you to be a toxic man to feel like you're a man, like follow all these norms that society tells you what a man is. But in the same breath, I'm not a man, Yes. Really not even what we were just talking about.
I know. It came up, and that's okay.
And that's what's gonna be happening in this show. It's gonna be, like I said, just best friends talking, and like I'm also like explaining. We're giving you foreground.
Because do you mind that we're not gonna stay on top of it?
She be fucking cracking me up. That's why I was so excited to start this show with her, because I'm like, bitch.
My mom and dad always provided for me and stuff, but in the end, like, I came from a place where it was like I started working at 14. I got my job permit, worker's permit. A lot of people hear that and they're like, what, 14? I'm like, where could you even work? Anywhere with a job's permit. With a worker's permit, if you get your worker's permit, you can work at Wendy's.
And don't forget the summer jobs.
I got hired at McDonald's, summer jobs. Yeah, I worked at the gas station.
Where the money was at.
There's summer jobs that will hire you to pick crops and fields. There's farms that hire kids over the summer. Pick up trash.
Shit, y'all know it's dirty.
So I was working. I was helping provide for my family as soon as I could. And I feel like what came with that actual trauma of like spending money. I don't enjoy spending money. I'm that type of person that's like, oh my God, let's go shopping. Like, no, bitch. I'm dreading it. And honestly, when I have to buy clothes, it hurts to swipe every last time. I'm like looking like, damn, like this feels so wasteful. Like this feels so dumb.
I feel like if that's based off like how expensive the clothes are.
Yes.
See, honestly, one thing I do, and I know some bitches don't agree with it or not, I shop at Savers, baby.
Me too.
These clothes that are in the mall, way overpriced, one, and they're mass produced. Like it's just,
and a lot of times it's regurgitated fashion, like stuff that's already came out from years ago that you can find in the thrift store.
Sometimes there's literally tags on them.
Yes.
It's nothing but a wash. You wash clothes. Like, you don't think that detergent, first of all, there's mad chemicals in detergent. You think that's not doing something?
Right.
Like, be for real. I mean, if there's holes, rips, and stains, that's a whole nother story.
I feel like the only thing that kind of came with like the whole thrift shopping thing, especially like after Macklemore's song, and like people don't really think about it, talk about it often, but that song triggered a fucking fad.
Yes, literally when I learned about a thrift shop.
I didn't know that. I thought thrift shops. I thought, okay, so when I heard a thrift shop, I thought it was a vintage stores. Originally, these stores were made for people so that they could afford clothes.
Exactly. Yes.
So it kind of sucks.
Like in New York or in Boston, you know how expensive those thrift stores
It's insane.
I'm like, that's basically a regular store. It's not even a thrift store anymore.
No, you can't. Like, I'm not.
But it's also because I think those have different standards in regards to the quality that they do take in.
It's true. But it's also like, if you're a thrift store, again, the basis of a thrift store, Savers, Goodwill, you're supposed to be giving back to people who can't afford it. Like, literally. Again, so like that's the only thing that kind of always makes me feel bad, is that I know I know I could afford regular clothes and stuff, but
it's
here
like,
I am.
why would I?
Yes, exactly.
No shade.
So that's the only thing that always makes me feel a little conflicted with that, is because like just thinking about like that whole fad, like big business got a hold of everything. I mean, they do. Look at Pride.
I mean, ooh.
God, they took pride and ran with it. Rainbows on everything.
They do that every year.
Yes, it's crazy. No, it's not.
At the end of the day, that exposure is good for the LGBTQ community, but it's also bad. I don't know, because it's like, now they're gonna think of the LGBTQ and think of all rainbows and smiles, and when really we're still oppressed.
Yep, and there's a history that's dark, and it just kind of gives like Christopher Columbus, like it's like we're celebrating that, but there's so much dark shit like attached to that, and it's like I feel like if we're gonna be celebrating Pride, you need to be celebrated. It should be more like Black History Month or Hispanic Heritage Month, where I got to learn of all the sufferable like injustices like our people went through, and the people that in those groups went through. Like Pride Month, I didn't learn anything during Pride Month. I didn't see not one informational blurb about a monumental figure in the LGBTQ community. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I learned about Stonewall on my own time. Not in Pride Month. Like, that's stuff like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
mass media is really just sucking up LGBTQ culture, specifically like the Vogue culture, and that's still drawing attention to the LGBTQ community, and as you know, the Vogue houses and all that was such a significance to the LGBTQ culture and the movement in itself, but it's not highlighting the fact of why Vogue is Vogue houses are even a thing. You know, I mean, there's great pioneers that take those opportunities to educate.
I feel like no one's really talking about it because she's such a well-liked figure, and I do respect her a lot as an artist. A perfect example is Beyonce's whole album being a Vogue-based dance album, going from fad to fad with her. And I feel like if you really realize, like, Beyonce's a really good pinnacle to like watch for big business and like where the trends are going and where the culture is going. Because if you watched her, she went straight from LGBTQ to country
real quick,
and it's gonna go to another fad really quick, like I promise you. And before that, it was like her and Jay-Z's album, and it was like that partner album, and that happened after 2088, which was Big Sean, Jhené Aiko. So they're very on top of the fads. They're very big. They're very on top of stuff like that. I feel like if you want someone to watch for stuff like that,
you know what I mean?
100%. Whoever their media managers, stuff like, they're on top of fads. They must have access to like data
they got
entry.
the money to pay for the best bitch in the business.
So like whatever information that they're processing and getting, like it's insane because they're always like weeks, months ahead of like
it's because all of that's gatekeep. Like it's really it's all gatekeeping. Like obviously there's those random people that like go viral, which is why I think social media is so cool, because it's like random people can have influence. Love this person from TikTok because he's like one of those educated bitches, and I'm like, yes, I love hearing an educated bitch speak. It's like, yes, you know what I mean?
Like, me too. I like give me sources. Give me quotes and sources. I'll talk about page numbers and last names. I love that shit. No, me too. I'm the same way. I feel like it's because stuff like that can't debunk.
That's like people arguing the fact that the U.S. country wasn't made by rich white men or white men in power that really determined how society is structured.
It's still determined. They're literally decrepit, sitting in fucking Senate.
Systemic
still deciding
structure, and where white supremacy held the reins and everything else is pulling the reins. That's like us lifting them up. Like, the fuck, my back hurts from carrying this fat ass bitch. You think I'm gonna carry these motherfuckers? Anyways, I don't know what we were talking about, but we're gonna go to the next topic.
Nah, because
we went from purple tendencies.
Do you mind that we don't do conclusions?
You kill me with that. I want to bring up a particular instance in which you were with me when I have went through a cultural shock. Main cultural shock, I feel like that's in my memory, was attending Westfield State University.
So our freshman year was 2017. You already know what happened in that year. It was a very intense year politically, culturally.
Which I feel like was just a buildup of all the anger, hate, all the anger because of all the hatred.
Yes.
And
it was from both ends.
Period.
Genuinely, like from the people who were
oppressed,
from the people who were oppressing. Yeah.
That comes down to the unfairness. Like, why? That question, why? Because, like, really, why? It comes down to respect.
My foot is planted in justice. So if you're not sitting there digging dirt with me, babe, I'm not gonna sit there and respect you. I'm not gonna be disrespectful unless you are literally going out of your way to deserve it. But like he said, I don't even have to say hi to you if you're racist. I'm sorry. Just be happy I looked your way and that's it.
Yeah, I probably didn't even look.
I probably didn't either. I feel like that was me being gracious. They saw it in my face on camera. I couldn't even hide it.
I vividly, like literally vividly remember history class, being a kindergartner, like feeling so sad. Why would they do that to them just because of their, like literally the question, like just because of their skin color, like what?
Bro.
Like how did that, like
It didn't make
logically,
sense.
it doesn't make sense.
Especially because at the time that we were being taught this, we'd look around our class and it's
Diverse.
people of every fucking
Yes.
skin tone. So we couldn't even like, I feel like as children too, like the times that they were teaching us these, we could grasp it, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
Because it's like we
So
could.
stupid.
Yes, it was
Literally.
really, it was such a weird.
And it's still so stupid. I mean, literally. Like, bitch, are you dumb? Why would they saying that?
This is our life in the car too.
Damn.
I'm dead. We hang out in the car a lot. Sorry, I'm
Dude,
back.
I feel like we haven't done that in a while.
But
though.
we really like. I feel like almost all of my memorable hangouts with Darian were in the car,
For sure.
and like us parked somewhere really random, and
Yeah.
just being there for hours talking, and that's
The
why we
time-
decided for this.
Yeah,
thing, literally.
It's just time just goes by so quickly. We're gonna
sorry,
just go back to the cultural shock.
Yep.
So we were at this party. It was a house party. One of them, because we went to a couple. You know, we were those girls. We were outside. This was around the time that I had smoked marijuana.
Oh,
or
yeah.
pot. Honestly, the way life's going right now, I might just like never go back. Honestly, because when I look back on it, I'm like, oh my god, why was I purposely giving myself anxiety or extra anxiety?
If you don't feel like it's medicating for you in a healthy way, then don't do it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
it affects everybody differently. Like,
yeah,
period.
there's been times where I had to look back on my substance use, specifically with marijuana. I had a problem, like for real, where I would just smoke all the time for no reason. I took a step back after I had someone really close to me kind of just tell me like they think it's an unhealthy habit, and I kind of like watched like why I wasn't taking weed and how. And after that I feel like my tolerance, I had to watch it. I had to also cut back at my use, so like make sure I was using it more like in a yes, and not abusing it.
Yeah,
Using it and not abusing it.
and that's what it comes down
Because
to.
yeah.
I don't like the way that they separate they be like alcohol and drugs when alcohol is a drug.
Yes. That's big business.
And it's,
That's money. Yeah. That's money for them. They're never gonna stop.
specific about that. And notice that when they talk about drugs, they don't talk about the fact that they literally sell drugs. Like pharmaceutical drugs are one of the craziest drugs to even get, because first of all, they're all experimental. Not all of them, but most of them are actually damn near all of them are experimental, because again, it's gonna affect everybody differently.
You'll never see a weed commercial. You'll never see a commercial
Oh my God.
for any other substance. But let beer,
Oh god.
let liquor, opioids all over our fucking screen.
It's
Do
because it's
them.
legal.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And it's
FDA approved. Girl, who the hell is on that FDA table? Because I need to have me a word. But anywho, so we were at this party. And I was rolling. Because, you know, we was...
Darian had them girls calling weed cheesecake.
Yo.
I'll never forget.
That was everything. You got the fork? Yo.
Because we're about to eat some cheesecake.
You know, and it was the moment. It was really the moment. It was really the vibe. Since high school, actually, I had it going. I don't give a fuck. I was like, we're going to eat cheesecake. They'd be like, oh, I like cheesecake. Like, yo, that shit would crack, because I know they didn't know what it meant. And then we go to smoke, and they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, where's the cheesecake? I'm like, bitch, we're eating it. This girl, who happened to be Caucasian, and she was like, it could be because she's Caucasian or because where she's from. Obviously, as you know, demographic has something to do with, you know, your identity and the way you act and who you are and all that extra shit. And she was like, oh my god, and you guys smoke too? You guys are so cool. I was gagged. I was like, I literally had the L. I was like rolling, and I was like, I looked at Audrey like, I know you're lying. Like, that shit was too.
It was kind of like,
me.
it was kind of like, I've like never been around people of color, but it was just like, it was just kind of weird because it just gave like zoo animal, like first time seeing an ostrich or something, like bitch.
Long story short, cultural shock, and I was shook.
Oh my god, I think being a white passing woman just gave me like front row access to like pure ignorance on white people's side. And you know why? Because they would look at me and they couldn't tell, or they did and they didn't care, because they're like, well, she's white like me anyway, so I'm sure she acts like me, things like me, or uses her privilege to the same degree. And it's like, no, baby. Style did different. He had like a headband and his hair was like curly out in the back. I watched our white classmate go up to him and just pet him, like literally pet him like a dog, and say that she liked his hair. And when I tell you, I've never seen someone had to literally like hold everything inside them together to not disrespect somebody. You know, like, you ever done a training for work and it was like microaggression training?
Yeah.
That's literally what it gave. Like,
Yeah.
it was just seeing shit like that in person. Like,
It's also like, how do you feel that comfortable to go up to someone you're not that cool with? Like, you could just say from a distance, I like your new hairstyle.
it's like, it's almost
I think it comes from that sense of privilege. Like, oh, I can do it
it's
because
entitlement. Yeah, it's because they were
Entitlement.
it's like, it runs deep. They try to debunk them as people being too sensitive, people being, it's not. That shit is deep rooted, honey. You felt comfortable walking up to me because your grandmama Master Sally fucking gladly walked up to anybody on the fucking field and touched them, bitch. That's what the fuck that comes back to. And if you're not thinking like that, then what do you have? Privilege, babe. You need to check yourself. One more microaggression.
Okay.
Sorry, really quick.
Wait, we're talking about microaggression?
I'm dead. He was the only black person in class. We were talking about musical theater performances. To sing something sang by a woman. And she kept telling him no. We were doing audition practice, so he wouldn't be auditioning for that part, is what she said. You can very much cross-dress on stage. A lot of people do it
All
for
the time.
for parts all the time.
Like what?
They obviously had some deep-rooted issues they needed to work through when it came to race. And she kept like bringing it back to race. And so she looks and goes, how would you feel if I had a white person singing a song sang by a black person?
It's a song.
It's a song. He was like, Audrey sings songs by black women all the time. I've never cared. He was like, why'd you ask me that? And she didn't know what to say.
Gagged her.
Gagged. He's like, yeah, because I'm the only black person in here. Don't do that again. It's so uncomfortable. I will say it was clocked right then and there, but
As
it was
it should.
uncomfortable.
You have to check things like that immediately. And you know what? That's, oh my God. That brings into something that I actually did want to talk about anyways. In the past, like, I really have been sticking to my vow of like always speaking up. Like, because sometimes it's so easy to ignore. Period. Like, especially online. Every time, like, I didn't see this bitch just be
Ignorant. Yes.
Literally.
That's why I block and delete people.
Period.
Now, I've decided that I'm not, because if I say something a lot of times, it still doesn't get through to them.
Yeah.
So it's really just a waste of my time a lot of times.
You know, but but you know what?
I know,
It is?
I
That's
shouldn't
a
think like
lot
that,
of times,
but
but not all the time.
I
you
know, but
and
I-
those moments that it's not all the time.
I guess
it's
I
so
pick and
important.
choose. I pick
and
and
that's the thing, and I feel you,
Yeah.
and that's why I made
You're
this
right.
vow to no longer pick and choose. Because
Yep, you're right.
it needs to be a consistent thing. It needs to be something that's challenged continuously, because you may not be the only one speaking up against it, and eventually, you know what I mean? It's like, haven't you heard that thing where somebody hears something 7 times?
Yes, after doing something or hearing something 7 times, you memorize it or it's a habit.
Yeah, yeah,
That's how
because,
they
like-
taught me in music school. If I fucked up on a note, guess what I was doing? Hitting that bitch 7 times.
Period. So keep that in mind, y'all. You can use that to your advantage. But yeah, so that's been my vow, and like, I honestly stopped caring about how crazy I may look or how futile it'll be, because at the end of the day, it's an effort to make a positive change, and those small efforts and those small changes add up. You're gonna be perceived and looked at any type of way anyways. You might as well be seen as, even if you're annoying, you're annoying because you were doing the right thing, question mark? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that was my thing. Like, it's been like, I don't want to make a show, or I don't want to be
Yeah,
dramatic.
I feel like something that really made me shut up when it comes to shit like that, I feel like is I used to actually be called a social justice warrior. I used to hate that fucking term.
I'm crying.
Which is like, it's kind of like a negative term.
It's giving
you've heard
negative
it before.
connotation.
It is. It's very
But
negative.
I love it.
It's something
Call
that
me one of
it's.
those,
I'm pretty
bitch.
sure. No, dead ass. Right?
I'm a social justice warrior because, bitch, I'm fighting for justice for all.
Period.
And that's what it comes down to. Like, and how are you oppressed and trying to oppress others? And I get it. It's the way power dynamics shift, and because nobody wants to be that person less of power. But it's like, how about you raise that person with less power?
Yeah, I was
But-
actually just reading a quote or a passage from a philosopher. It's like his name's like Marcius Aurelius or something like that. And he had, literally, the quote said, "The best revenge is never becoming your enemy.
Period. Oh my
Never
God,
becoming the person who fucked you over. Don't. That's the
Period.
best revenge. Like, literally.
Period.
So if you're out here, if you're finding some type of way to reenact your trauma, where you were the person that was smaller, and kind of switch those. You're trying to switch the position you were in.
That's just gonna lead to a cycle.
Yes, it's exactly what it is, and it
And
doesn't make you better, and it doesn't make them less.
The most we can do about awful people is not become one of them. And like, I don't know if that's the most, but that's definitely a good, like, really powerful thing, like, to not become one of the people that are awful. Like, because then if you're not awful and then everybody thinks like that and they're not awful, then there's some more awful people. People can argue that, well, being awful is subjective. I mean, yes and no, because at the end of the day, come on now. You know what I mean?
Bad and good is good.
And that's what it comes down. Like, be for real. Like,
I feel like
be
people
for real.
try to make things more complex than it is, and the real beauty of life is the simplicity in it.
Period.
And that's one of those things that's not complicated. Bad is bad, and
Period.
good is good.
When you're hurting someone, that's bad. And I don't mean making them feel some type of way, because like then you could say that being gay is bad because somebody's gonna feel some type of way. No, baby, don't get it twisted. Because you're not getting hurt by me being gay. If anything, we're the ones that are gonna get hurt for being gay. You know what I mean? Because like, bitch, you be mad, so mad to the point where we need to get killed. You know, like, and same thing for racism. And I sometimes I be feeling bad when I make the comparison between homophobia and racism, but it's oppression is oppression. I remember there was this one post that it was like, you wanna act like being gay is worse than being black in America, and it's like, it's not really a competition to see who's getting treated awful. Like,
if that's what we're talking about, then what about the black gays in America?
Oh,
hello.
You don't even need much research to understand that the ideologies are oppressive ideologies.
Yes,
like,
of course.
Like you could be gay, just don't be gay around me or something like
Yes.
that. Like I had made the correlation before. It's like, okay, but that's like somebody saying you could be black, but don't be black around me. Like, what? Or you know what I mean? Or don't act black and like don't act gay. Like, what are you like? What are you actually saying? Like, can we really break that down? And it's like, and that's when it bothers me too, when it's again people that are oppressed trying to oppress. Like, please self-reflect and understand that what you're saying, it's not making sense. It's not adding up. 2 + 2 = 4.
Right. I had a really close friend in college, and there's a point where we ended up stopping being friends with her because she ended up getting close to her roommates, which were a whole bunch of white people. And we were fine with that. We had white friends in college.
Yeah,
that's all we had, because that's all there were.
Period.
Literally. So we were fine with that.
And that's fine as long as they don't be racist.
Thank you.
Like, or homophobic.
Or you're not here trying to condition the people you're around or yourself to fit within their bubble or what every last archetype / stereotype they have about you. There would be times where me and Jordan would laugh, and bitch, when me and you laugh, it's we're laughing, we're giggling, and she had the audacity to like shush us. And I remember after that day, we never hung out with her again because we knew what the fuck that shush meant. Like, shh, you're being too ghetto. Shh, you're being too loud. Y'all are acting out a little bit too much for my white friend. Sorry. You
can't do that here.
And it's crazy because this was the type of person that would laugh with us, that would smoke weed with us, that would be ghetto with us. Do things that people would
live freely.
Yeah. And it was just so weird. And I think it's because she saw the privilege that came with
being in that white space.
And she wasn't white at all. So and not at all. And I'm talking about dark. They'll do what they can to fit in, and I refuse. Like, if I had to neglect the people I love or completely separate myself, thank you, from my culture or whatever to please you or to get money or to get up or to get somewhere, I'm not gonna do it.
It doesn't make no sense. That's losing a part of who you are.
Thank you.
And you don't have to fit in. To be the it girl, you don't have to become it. You already are it. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Again, do you mind? Because I don't remember what the fuck we were talking about. Like, how did we get here?
Once we pause, like, yeah, I
literally, like, once we take a silent second, like 3 or 4, we're like, I have no idea what just happened.
Self-reflection, I think that was the main goal. Why are there so many Mexicans voting for Trump? It's just because they don't want to be the people that are getting oppressed by the movement of the Trump, of like, put up the wall.
Yep.
Yeah, put up the wall. I'm on the other side. Please keep me on the side. Like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like,
maybe it comes from the pride.
I almost said something mad controversial. I'm like, should I? I mean, we can always out.
I feel like the USA made me very, very like culturally ignorant.
Oh.
So when I learn about outside the US and like how the world will work and like run, so shook, because I'm just like, it's so crazy that these things can work outside of here.
Exactly.
But they're not applied.
That's why because there's so many ways to live, but it's not applied to here because we're being controlled.
When I met Darian, for sure, oh my God, you were wearing a flannel.
A flannel.
Like a plaid.
And some Nike shoes.
And some
khakis.
Jeans. Yeah. Or khakis.
No.
Were they jeans? I swear it was jeans, baby.
Yeah, they were definitely jeans. We were in history class.
Yes. Oh, yes, you were sitting in front of me.
I was gagged. Like, she was just so beautiful. I literally like, because I have an ability. I have an ability, y'all, that I'm not going to share with you because the government's listening.
Don't look at me, bitch. I ain't saying. I'm not telling you either, bitch.
Period. I have several abilities. Ooh. As we know, death is like, and I feel like we've had conversations about this like that. Be like, haha, if you die, I'm dying. Like,
No, dead ass. Like, if you die, I'm definitely gonna kill myself.
Oh my god.
That's sorry, best.
so
Nah,
bad.
because we've all besties know.
Period,
Besties get.
you know, because death is so real. You know what? Like,
It
it's
freaks me out when
real.
people pass away our age.
Yep. Yep.
Because then it
yep.
just reminds me so
Or just
heavily.
someone that you know.
I literally feel like this weight come over me, and I'm just like, you could die. Like
Any
and it's just so
moment.
crazy. Like, you really could die. Like, babe, you live your life every day, and you stress over what? Because you could just die.
Like,
No, dead ass. Like,
but really.
your life could just be taken from you. There was this person that passed away this week, and it was all over my social media. She was 25. She was a lesbian too. Like, stiff like, it's just like whenever their identities kind of correlate with mine, it always sits a little heavier with me. And I don't know. That just kind of freaks me out a little bit when I do think about it. I try not to think about it too much because I know that anxiety can get the best of you when you think about it.
I just try to keep it in mind because it's like, what's real? You know what I mean? Like, reality, the construct. Like, let's remember just to give it our all every fucking day, every moment. Thinking there's always tomorrow can stop you from doing something today.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and that kind of hit differently for me too because I'm a big scheduler. Like, I schedule ahead of time. Like, we had this scheduled for so long.
We've been thinking about this. We've been thinking about something
just-
like
real
this for
low
really.
key.
I
We
feel
just-
like for a while we just never thought it. We never brought it to fruition
until it came about. Like,
yes,
everything.
and it's like the opportunity came about perfectly.
Like, literally.
Especially specifically through Darian. If there's anything this bitch can do, networking genius. This fucking
Barely.
bitch.
Girl, barely.
Darian is being humble. Darian's being fucking humble, bitch.
I'm just real. Like, I'm a real person. Like, I am reserved too. Like, you'd be surprised. Like,
I gotta-
especially, and honestly, I guess if we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. Do you mind? Men. It's because honestly, it's just there's so many thoughts that go around my mind when I'm around them. Because it's like, I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I don't want to make myself uncomfortable by thinking I'm making you uncomfortable, even though you're very likely uncomfortable by my presence because you either love it, hate it, or don't know how you're feeling.
I feel like you missed an option on your fingers, and it's they do know how they feel and they don't want to admit it.
Oh.
Giving you guys the benefit of the doubt by saying you don't know how you feel. Genuinely, because a lot of times you do and you don't want to admit it, and that's why you're acting however way you're acting.
Or you're uncertain about how you're
Yeah,
feeling. You know what I mean?
well, I
Like,
guess
that's what I mean.
uncertain
Like,
is uncertain.
Like, it's like, damn, am I
but then I'm
really feeling
also
this way or am I
like,
not feeling
sometimes
this way?
they're
Like,
literally
what's going
like, I like him, but I can't because society. So then that's where I'm coming from, where it's like people, or
But
they think
most
they're
deals-
boys
but
or
deals,
something.
Y'all just don't accept love. Like, no shade. And I know it's because of, you know, masculinity. Like, when I can't even say the word. Something that I have noticed within, like, younger generations, like, after mine, like, they are really loving with the boys. I feel like they're really redefining what being a man is and, like,
Yes.
man bonding and man relationship. And I love
Yes.
love to see it. Like, you guys out there that are doing it, keep doing it. I really feel like it's making a difference.
Kai Cenat, I literally love how much he loves his boys. The way that they sleep over.
Who?
The streamer, you ever seen him, Kai Cenat?
Oh
my god, he'll have all his boys sleep over in his bedroom.
but sometimes he
and
be doing a little mini, like, microaggression homophobe.
But I also feel like he still breaks a lot of stereotypes, and regardless
Okay.
of the ones that he does try to upkeep,
Mm-hmm.
in his comments, all these men are literally shaming him. Why are they sleeping so close? I can't believe he has his boys sleep over. Like, they're literally not on stream the whole time being watched.
And even
it's like they're
not,
still.
it
It's like
should be
it's almost like they're
okay.
trying to push.
Yeah,
push,
like they're
push.
gang.
Yes.
But why
So-
does it matter if they
yes.
were anyways? One and two, you need to accept love.
Like, it's just
we
what it
are-
is.
Bonding is human nature. Like,
And if you don't want to watch something like that, why are you tuned in? Like,
That
it's
part-
just
like, if it really
need
bothers
to
you,
self-reflect, because I feel like it doesn't bother you as much as you really think it does.
you want it to
You
bother
wanna-
you.
yes, you want it to bother you.
Yeah. Like,
How do people
oh my
do that?
God, like,
That's
I'm
exhausting.
bothered, and I need you to know that I'm bothered. And you know what? That's how I be feeling when I'm when I talk against oppression to bring it back. Like, you know how I'm like, because I made that vow again to, like,
To not be quiet.
to not be quiet about
Yes.
it. And it's like somebody was like, you know, I didn't mean to offend you when I had, like, spoken about, there was a situation. I guess I'll get into a little bit of it. I'm pretty sure that's already done, so we'll be focusing on
here.
this camera.
Yeah.
Last time I spoke up against injustice, it was low-key like a microaggressional, xenophobic comment. And I had messaged them directly, even though I seen it online. And I'm like, are you, like, xenophobic or something?
I don't know the exact definition, but just in case, xenophobia usually refers to people outside of the country. A lot of times, immigrants. The literal phobia of them coming in and somehow messing with the economy, the way of life, the culture of wherever place they're trying to come into.
But it's also like racism, but specifically for foreign people.
Yes,
like,
people that aren't from that place.
Yeah. Why was the first thing that they replied with the same thing that anybody that gets checked? But I have friends that are. What do you mean? Bitch. And that brings up another thing too, because like you could be a part of the same community and still have internalized bias and still perpetrate that.
Yes, you can.
And that's something that I feel like goes over people's head. Like there's so many, like when Puerto Ricans say, I'm loud because I'm Puerto Rican. That is not okay to say, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because that's a bias and that's a generalization for a whole group of people. There's gonna be plenty of Puerto Ricans that you are monotone, honestly. There's times where I'm monotone and there's times where I'm really loud. Don't set yourself up to be one type of way because you are one type of thing.
Yeah, those stereotypes came from like us not speaking English and it being loud and it being in their ear, not them not wanting to hear it. Period. Don't perpetuate. All these things are deep rooted. They come from somewhere. They don't.
Most thoughts that are ours are not our own. They're not.
They came from somewhere.
Period. Understand that. Reflect on that. Grow from that. That's the main message. This was one of those instances where they took accountability and they're like, you know, I see what you're saying. And I'm gonna delete this part of the post that was perpetrated. Now, I was so like, yes, bitch. Yes. I'm so proud of you. This person had also said, but that's like saying, oh, I only get blowouts from Dominicans. And I was like, okay, so I took that and I was like, okay, I see where your mindset's at, but I want you to understand that even that's technically wrong. It's just wrong in a more intense way because instead of excluding a group, they're preferencing a group. Yep. And it's a bias-led preference, so it's still bad. But then again, it's not as bad as excluding a whole group because of who they are. Right. You know what I mean? It's both still wrong because they're bias-led. And it's okay to have preferences, but not when it's off a bias. Because you're generalizing, you might go to a Dominican that's not going to give you a good blowout.
No.
Then what happens? Now your whole world flips upside down because you're like, wait.
Because one of your internalized beliefs aren't fucking true.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, literally, yes. I just feel like things like that, they just shouldn't. You should just never look at those things as fact.
Period.
Y'all compare something like that to like the sun and the fucking moon rising and coming down. Like, that's something we see every fucking day. You don't see every fucking day every last Dominican doing a fucking blowout that's nonstop perfect. Like, some of these people don't even fucking do hair. Period. What are we talking about? Like, and not every salon is like, I don't know. If we just broke everything down, you guys would sound really dumb.
And it's okay because we've been there.
Yes.
Like, honestly, and not even to say we, sorry, I should have just made
No, you can say we because no, I agree. I definitely have.
I know there's times where I've reflected, I'm like, that was not okay to say. And but you know what? That's what it's about. It's about looking back at this moment and be like, you know what? No, let's not do that ever again. Back in the day, I used to be best friends with a white person. And we used to have a talk show called the Shaniqua and Tanika Talk Show. And mind you, I had a wig that was a Jamaican wig.
Oh my God, I remember that wig.
I was still in middle school, so I was young and ignorant. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
If you go back to like my old YouTube videos, me and my friend Sonia did one called Loga Problems. Bitch, we were pretending to be our kids in that video. Like, the kids would walk in and we'd be like, get the fuck out. It's the stuff that we grew up watching. Like, I remember me and Divine watched the old movie the other day. Bro, the straight agenda, crazy. Y'all talk about the gay agenda? Terrifying. We were watching Arthur and the Invisibles. It's called Arthur and the Minimoys. It's an original, like, German concept, but they made it into an English movie when we were little. It's about this kid. His grandfather was, like, a researcher, and he finds this world of, like, mini people. And they're, like, elves and whatever. And the kid is 10 years old. And from the beginning of the movie, he's falling in love with a princess that he knows is over 1,000 years old. Fucking weird off rip. Me and Divine looked at each other. We're like, why is he kissing a page with an old ass woman on it? Like, why are they trying to that's weird. But anyways, we get further in the movie. He's in a different world in his elf form. So they're trying to make it seem like he's not a little boy and she's not a grown ass woman. But when I tell you, it's so weird because Madonna is playing this fucking character and it's a grown ass woman's voice, like at the age of fucking 40 in my ear, making out with a 10-year-old voice actor's character. And me and Divine are so uncomfortable watching. We're like, wait, when we were little, why did we not notice this? There's even points where they sexualize one of the kids. This is a little kid's movie. Yeah. One of the characters gets into the car. The little boy's character stares at her ass. His whole face gets red and his ears point up. And me and Divine were like, what the fuck? Like literally, it was just nonstop
I've never
sexual
seen this
reference.
movie. Yeah,
you
that's
have to
right.
watch it because
And
honestly,
I've
it's
been
such a
noticing shit
perfect
like that in
cultural.
anime, too.
Yes, and it's such a perfect cultural like pinnacle like observation to like look at because you can see when at the time like it was like 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
They did not give a
Yeah.
fuck. They were very
'Cause they
clear
weren't gonna
about
be
the
checked on
sexualization
that.
of children. No, there was
Yep.
no checking, and it was all animated, so that like
Yeah.
it came off like very like innocent,
Innocent.
sickening.
Yeah.
Like now that I look back, I'm like, it's crazy. Like this is just trying to push a little boy towards some type of
Yeah.
sexual
And
action.
you know
Like
what?
it's just so weird.
I was gonna save this for next episode because we are running on
Yeah, we're-
just this camera.
Yep.
I do want to say it now because like you're on this topic. The other day, like I was around someone, and mind you, this was a fucking infant, like probably 6-7 months. Like the bitch looked lost. You know when it's like the baby's just like looking around, like the bitch doesn't know anything. The mom was like, "Yeah, I saw him looking at the ladies there. Like this gonna be a real ladies man." This is one of those moments that made me have this vow that I have now about like saying shit. Say it, Darian. Like, but mind you, this was like a different environment. Like I wasn't really like around people I knew. There was like just a few people I knew. So I was like, damn, do I make a show? And I should have. Like I should have been like, and it'd be the same people that are like, you're making people confused because you're gay and stuff like bitch, you're holding a fucking baby that doesn't know anything, and you swear the bitch was checking these
Women
bitches
out?
out? Like what? Ew, like grown ass women too. Like bitch, are you dumb? Like that shit had me there. Like, and it'd be the same bitches.
Yep.
Like, and I know it do be like I'm just like like shut the fuck up. I really enjoy talking with you.
Me too.
I'm so glad we like did it. Like, oh yeah. Do you mind that we have to go? Like,
They do.
I am Darian Gonzalez,
And I'm Unique.
and we are checking out for today's episode. Stay tuned for more. Bye.
Bye.